What's going on, everybody? This is Adrian Rodriguez, and I'm here to talk to you guys about Socrates. Quick bio about him is he lived until he was 70 years old. He's the son of a housewife and a sculptor. The reason for his death was because of disrespecting the city gods, and then he corrupted the youth in Athens. Therefore, he was sentenced to death. He had to drink a drink called hot hemlock, which basically just kills him after he drinks it, and that's what he did to die. Socrates believed that the truth is general and can be shared, unlike the Sophies, where it is personal and shouldn't be shared. And this is just big in psychology, because if you know the truth, why wouldn't you want to continue to share it with others to let them continue to grow knowledge and just know more about life and people in general? Okay, so next up, Socrates did not believe in all things are relative. He wanted to know what the truth was, and that's what he desired so much. So then he essentially came up with this way of being able to know what is right or wrong, and you just start off by studying examples. The end goal is to know, after the end goal is just to know more and more knowledge, and just to not only know what is right or wrong, but to know why it is right or wrong, and you're able to gain that through asking questions and just discussing it. Next up, Socrates believed in the eternal soul, which contains all knowledge. So in simpler terms, you have all the knowledge, and then at birth, you essentially forget about it, or like it's wiped out. So then through the course of life and just like going through life, you're reminded of it and just re-educated on it, essentially. Next up, Socrates also found a new way of learning called the Socratic method. And instead of the teacher just sitting here like lecturing all day, the teacher is supposed to encourage discussion and asking questions and just a lot of interacting. Like I said, rather than, the teacher sitting at the lecturing. And then so this means that the student comes to the knowledge by themselves. So the next big thing that I like about Socrates is that he uses inductive definition. And I think we use inductive definition a lot today in society. And it's basically starting with a simple task and then asking more broad questions about it, and then eventually finding the essence of it. I mean, for the biggest example, or the quickest example I can think of off the top of my head is when you hire a football coach, and it's like, why do we hire this guy? And it's like, okay, he can recruit, he can bring in a lot of donations for the program, he connects with families well. But then you ask all these questions, and then you eventually find out the main reason is that he's able to turn these young teenager boys into, men. And how is he able to teach the game of football and eventually connect it to life, like after football? Like how is he able to teach, grit, character, teamwork, and just stuff like that through the game of football, and then eventually connect it to life, because football eventually ends for everybody. So then how are they able to use these football skills and then take them into the real world? Next up, it's also pretty unique how Socrates was Plato's mentor, and Socrates also said that Plato was his most prized student, and quote unquote, Plato also said that he was the wisest, the justest, and best of all whom I had ever known. And that's pretty big coming from Plato, with how much of an effect he had on psychology and like the world and how we view it in general. So basically, without Socrates, Plato would never have had the big impact that he had and just what he did. Appreciate you guys listening to my video presentation. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I was pretty nervous, especially it being the first week of video presentations. Comment down below what you guys think, or leave me reviews or any questions that I could help you guys answer. Thank you guys for your time, and see you guys the rest of the class.